for all of us in this community. What has happened to us here in Vancouver, we've seen it happen in other cities. We've seen it happen in other countries. We've seen it happen throughout the world. It has never happened to us here, and it has absolutely shaken our entire community to the core. In the coming days, as we learn more about the victims in this horrific attack, the trauma is going to increase. It's going to get harder before it gets easier. In addition to the investigation, the criminal investigation that we're conducting, we here at the Vancouver Police Department, we're here to provide comfort and reassurance and to console and to support the community. We're impacted by this. The entire community is impacted by this, and we will do what it takes not just to investigate this horrific crime, but to provide comfort and reassurance and to console the community and to help the community through this absolutely unprecedented time. I'm going to give you some specific investigative updates. I'll then take some questions from you. The accused in this case, the person in custody, has now been charged with 8 counts of second-degree murder. That person's name is Kai G. Adam Lowe. Now, 11 people have died as a result of this vehicle attack. There are 8 counts of second-degree murder that have been laid. We anticipate that additional charges will be laid in the coming days or weeks. For those of you who are not from Vancouver, not from British Columbia, not from Canada, the way our system works here is the police do not lay criminal charges. We collect evidence, we present reports to Crown Counsel, which is independent of the police. Crown Counsel then does an independent assessment of the evidence and formally lays charges. We do anticipate that additional charges will be laid as this investigation continues. I can tell you a little bit more information about the 11 people who have now died. 9 of them are women, 2 of them are men. They reside in various communities in Metro Vancouver. There is one person who has died, who we don't know where they, specifically where they live, and we're in the we have identified them, but we have not confirmed their residence. We will, in time, release the names of all of the homicide victims. We are going to take a victim-centered, trauma-informed approach as we proceed through this investigation, and we are not prepared to release that information at this stage. That said, I understand and I appreciate that stories about victims are circulating in the community. People are self-disclosing. We will provide that additional information in due course. There are a number of victims, survivors, who are still in hospital. 7 people remain in critical condition. 3 people are in serious condition. There are others. There are other victims who were injured, who received medical attention and may have been discharged from hospital. There are people who potentially were injured who we don't know about yet, or people who sought medical attention on their own. So there are many, many more victims out there. And if there are people who are victims who we don't know about yet, we encourage them to come forward and speak to us. Next of kin notifications have been completed for each of the 11 people who were killed, and that means we have notified their surviving family members. The accused in this case, as we've said before, is a person who has had previous interactions with police and medical professionals related to mental health. I can confirm that Kai G. Lowe did have contact with the police in a neighboring jurisdiction on April 25th, the day before the vehicle attack. That contact was not criminal in nature, and it did not rise to the level where mental health intervention was required. Beyond that, I'm not prepared to disclose additional information at this time. Regarding the crime scene, it's a rather large crime scene. We are still processing that scene. There's still police tape up. It's still an active crime scene. We do anticipate that we will be finishing up our work in that crime scene tonight and possibly into tomorrow. We want to extend our gratitude and acknowledge community members in the surrounding neighborhood who have been impacted by this. It is a rather large crime scene, and we appreciate the community's support. There is a polling place in that area. That polling station, is not affected by the work that we are doing. There is still access to that polling station via 41st Avenue and St. George Avenue. Further investigative updates I can tell you. I can confirm that investigators from our homicide unit, our major crime section's homicide unit, did execute a search warrant yesterday related to this investigation. That search warrant was executed at the residence of the accused in Vancouver. And the purpose of that search warrant was to search for and seize evidence related to this investigation. We are continuing to collect evidence in various forms. That's eyewitness evidence, video evidence, forensic evidence, and other sources of evidence. We've created an online portal, vpd.ca. We've also posted information on our socials for people who have bystander video that they would like to submit. We'd like people, if they have bystander video, to submit it to our investigators. As we know, in similar investigations like this one that have occurred in other cities, in Canada, in North America, and around the world, that bystander video can form critical pieces of evidence that can help us understand all of the circumstances. So we encourage you, many people have posted it online. If you've posted it online, don't assume that we've got it. Please go to vpd.ca or visit our socials where we've got a QR code posted and submit that video and photos through that portal. It's really important. We had established a family and friend assistance center at the Douglas Park Community Center at 801 West 22nd Street. And the purpose of the family and friend assistance center was to help people who had been separated from loved ones. As you can imagine, there are people in our community who had family and friends who were at the Lapu-Lapu Festival when this happened, who may have gone hours or even now into day 3 without having contact with a loved one. The purpose of that assistance center was for Vancouver police officers, victim assistance professionals to provide information about people who, to provide information for people who were seeking a loved one. That assistance center will remain open until 8 p.m. today. It will reopen tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. and it will stay open for 12 hours tomorrow. So it will be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow. After it closes tomorrow at 8 p.m., we will be transitioning and we will be establishing more of a community information center, and that will be located near the crime scene, roughly 41st and Fraser Street. And that will be our mobile command center, a large vehicle you may have seen parked in the area already, and that will be placed in the community for an as yet undetermined amount of time. It will be staffed with victim services personnel, it'll be staffed with police officers, and it will serve as more of an information center for people who want to come by, for people who are seeking information, for people who are seeking support. We ask, if you are a witness, that you not go to the assistance center and you not go to our information center. If you are a witness who has not yet come forward, please contact our homicide unit detectives by telephone. The phone number is 604-717-2500. Please phone that number, leave a message, an investigator will return your call. We have had reports of media attending our family and friend assistance center. We've had reports of members of the media shooting video through the windows of our family and friend assistance center. There are a lot of people who are experiencing trauma here. This is deeply impactful to a lot of people in our community. If you're a member of the media, especially if you're somebody from out of town who's come to our city, we ask you, please do not do that. We are victim-centered and trauma-informed here. That is not appropriate, and we're going to ask that you respect victims, family members, loved ones who are so deeply impacted by this. The same goes with the information center, and the same goes with the schools in the area. It's currently a district-wide professional day. That means schools are not in session today, but school will be returning tomorrow. We will never be normal again, but as people start to return to their normal routines, we want to continue to be victim-centered and trauma-informed. Please, if you're a member of the media, we ask you do not approach staff, students, parents who are dropping their kids off at school. This crime scene is adjacent to a high school. We ask you to be respectful of the community's needs and the trauma that we're experiencing. There are a lot of people who are so deeply impacted by this. Members of our school community, families that have been torn apart, families that have been destroyed as a result of this. Administrators, staff, students, parents, that will never be the same. And as people start to return to their normal routine, we need to respect their privacy and allow that process to take place. There's been a lot of discussion about safety at large events, at community events, and these are discussions that take place in cities around the world whenever an event like this happens. We spoke about a lot of this yesterday. Interim Chief Rye, the mayor provided comments, and I'm not going to reiterate word for word what they said. What I can tell you, though, is that here in Vancouver, there are about 3,200 different community events that happen every year. Everything from small community block parties like the Lapu-Lapu Festival to major events. Taylor Swift concerts, the celebration of light fireworks that draw hundreds of thousands of people to the West End, major concerts. We're hosting FIFA next year. We've hosted the Olympics. We know how to host big events and to host big events safely. The behavior that occurred on Saturday night, this vehicle attack, is the kind of thing, as we know from other cities, it's unpredictable. It's hard to predict unpredictable behavior. That said, we have a big event happening next weekend, the BMO Marathon. 42-kilometer course. It's one of our biggest police deployments of the year. We will have 170 VPD personnel throughout that course. A lot of questions about safety, and I want to assure the community that through the planning that's taken place over many weeks and months for the BMO Marathon and the conversations that are continuing to happen, we have every reason to believe that this will be a safe event. That said, we're continuing to have conversations with race organizers, we're continuing to have conversations with the City of Vancouver, and we're continuing to work with public safety partners at various levels to gather intel. We have no reason to believe that there will be anything bad will happen. We believe that it will be a safe event. That said, we're taking a number of specific measures to ensure people's safety. As you would have seen yesterday with the Sun Run, the 10-kilometer run that went through the city, the largest organized run in Canada, there's a variety of measures that take place. Everything from heavy vehicle barriers that are placed in areas where large crowds gather, typically start lines and finish lines, to intersections that are controlled by police personnel, to smaller intersections where we have barriers up, wooden barriers up. It'll be a similar situation for the marathon that takes place on Sunday. Like I said, we have every indication that this will be another safe and fun event. We want people to come out and enjoy themselves as much as you can when you're running a marathon, and we'll continue to assess the situation. I think I'll stop there. I'll take any questions that you have, but we will be back tomorrow to answer additional questions and speak to any new developments in this case. Go ahead with your questions. Go ahead.
Associated Press, you said that police in a neighboring jurisdiction had contacted the suspect the day before
Yep.
the attack. Can you confirm what contact means? Were police called to a home or a business because he had done something? And does neighboring jurisdiction not?
Yeah, so I'm not prepared to disclose additional specific detail about the nature of that contact. What I can tell you is that, yes, it did occur in another policing jurisdiction, not Vancouver. For those of you who are not from Metro Vancouver, there are a number of police jurisdictions that serve this area. Municipal police agencies, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and surrounding Vancouver, just immediately surrounding Vancouver, there are a number of independent police agencies. So it was a neighboring police agency, but I'm not prepared to disclose additional detail about what the nature of that contact was. Beyond what I've already said, it was not criminal in nature and it didn't rise to the level where it required mental health intervention.
But 911 was called in police response.
I'm not prepared to disclose additional information. Okay. I should, for people on the phone, if you want to ask a question, *1 to get in the queue. Once I've gone around the room here, I'll take some questions from the phone. Go ahead.
Brenna Owen, Canadian Press.
Hi, Brenna.
What can you tell us, so I take what you're saying about the interaction right before, but what can you tell us about kind of the history and the timeline of the suspect's interactions and mental health challenges that police are aware of?
Yep. So we've already said we've been very clear, and I'm not prepared to elaborate further. This person has had prior interactions with police and medical professions related to mental health. Grace.
Can you confirm if he was involved in some type of an interaction or an assault involving seniors in Chinatown?
I don't have that information, Grace. I'm sorry. Are there any other questions in the room? Go ahead.
Do you have a timeline with regards to the investigation?
We'll take as much time as we need. We'll take as much time as we need to conduct this investigation thoroughly and methodically, and we'll do it right. This is a tragedy that has so deeply impacted our community. Lives have been torn apart. Lives have been lost. Lives will never be the same. We will do what we need to do. We'll take every second of every day of every week of every month to do this right and to make sure that people have answers. Go ahead.
What's the greatest challenge when it comes to an investigation like this?
Sorry, can you say that one more time?
What's the greatest challenge when it comes to an investigation like this?
Well, right now, one of our biggest challenges is we need people who were witnesses to come forward. And we've identified a number of witnesses in person. We've spoken to them, but we also understand there are people out there who may not have come forward. There are people with video that might be critical to our investigation who we still need to speak to. And we're seeing that video online, but we can't just assume. You can't assume if you're posting something on X or on Instagram or somewhere else that we're going to get it. There's so much out there, and we need you, if you've got video, to come forward, to submit that video through our portal, which is online at vpd.ca. Provide your information to an investigator so that we can get in contact with you. We have a suspect here who's been arrested. We have a suspect who's been charged with 8 counts of second-degree murder. The investigation is ongoing. This investigation doesn't stop because we've made an arrest and because he's been charged. We've got a lot more work to do, and that work will be trying to understand all of the circumstances about this incident. And that bystander video is absolutely critical.
And on a different note, what are some of the challenges for first responders to process what they're going through at this time?
Yeah. This has been hard. This has been incredibly hard on everybody in this community. We're members of this community. My fellow officers were amongst the first on scene. The trauma that the community is experiencing is trauma that we share. And we know from trauma, you don't always see it right away. You don't always feel it right away. Sometimes it takes some time. So we here are supporting our people. We know that we've been going full stop since this happened. We've been going full stop since 8:30 p.m. Saturday night when this vehicle rammed through a crowd of people. We're laser focused on doing the job. We're laser focused on collecting the evidence that we need to provide the answers that the community seeks and to achieve accountability through the court system. That said, we're human, we're not robots, and we're deeply impacted by this as well. We're impacted by what we've seen, and we're impacted by how this has affected the community. And we're hearing stories from people. We're seeing those personal stories. Whether it was a police officer who was personally involved, who rushed to the scene to tend to a victim, or it's an investigator who's been working behind the scenes, or a forensic identification unit investigator who's been processing the crime scene. We're all committed to doing this job. We're all committed to solving this crime and holding this person accountable, but it absolutely has an impact on us as well because we're human. Go ahead. Sorry, I'll get to you after. I know you had a question, but I'll get to you next, okay?
You have so many difficult pieces that you're navigating. Can you talk more about these interactions that you're having with the family members who have lost loved ones, or the family members who are just kind of waiting to see what happens, like how their family member progresses and gets better? Can you talk about those interactions and how they weigh on mental health and anything that you've seen there?
So I want to be somewhat careful because I haven't had those personal interactions. So it would be, it would be speculative, and I'd have to speak in a very general nature about that. I just don't think it's fair or accurate to do it. But what I can tell you is that we're working with families, whether it's a family whose loved one has been killed, it's a family whose loved one has been injured, it's a family who might have spent hours or now days trying to find out the status of a loved one. We're working with those people to support them. And it's not just police officers in uniform, it's victim services professionals, which are a vital part of the work that we do, who allow us as police officers, as investigators, to do our jobs to investigate this crime while at the same time supporting the people. And that's a big part of the healing process. We need to support. We have to support our community, not just victims, but family members too, who are incredibly impacted by this. Go ahead.
While this
Yep.
crime is unprecedented, what kind of strain does it put on the resources here in Vancouver, especially as you look forward to, or you look to another major event in the city?
We have had more than 100 police officers assigned to this case from the moment it happened, from 8 o'clock at night on Saturday night when this vehicle rammed through this crowd of people. Every police officer who was available, whether on duty or off duty, dropped everything that they had to come in. And we have many people who have been working nonstop. People have had maybe half an hour, 45 an hour of sleep on a couch in their office somewhere. The pay and that's in a situation like this, a mass casualty incident. That's understood. That the pace of that will slow down as this investigation proceeds. We're fortunate in the sense that the suspect was arrested and the suspect is in custody, and that allows us essentially some breathing room. We're not conducting a manhunt for a suspect. We have a person in custody. It does put a strain on our resources. That strain is because of the sheer number of people who are involved in this. We've called out additional officers from home. There are officers who are coming out on their days off to backfill, to provide additional support for people who have been drawn into this investigation. But we're well resourced. We have all of the resources that we need. We're fully funded. We have lots of support from the City of Vancouver. We have everything that we need to do this investigation and to do it properly. Go ahead.
Thank you. Could you confirm if the suspect is the brother of Alexander Lowe, who was the victim of murder last year?
He is.
To follow up on that, can you confirm if the suspect made a GoFundMe for his?
I don't have any information about that. Go ahead.
Going forward, how will the VPD continue to support people who are going through a difficult mental time like the suspect possibly has been going through?
We're police officers. We investigate crimes. We support the community. We've spoken in great detail about the impact that mental health has had on our community. Interim Chief Rye, Mayor Sim, they spoke about that in detail yesterday during their media availabilities. I think I'll allow their comments to stand. Other questions in the room? Go ahead. I'm going to come to the phones here momentarily for those of you who are waiting.
What do you know about a motive so far, and how did police rule out terrorism so far?
I'm not prepared to get into additional detail about motive. Very serious crime that has occurred. Suspect in custody has now been charged. There will be criminal proceedings. That information could form part of evidence that is presented at a criminal trial. Just not prepared to discuss that further detail right now. We are confident, based on the information that we have, that this was not ideologically motivated, that it was not an act of terrorism. Based on the information we have, we're confident it was not terrorism. Okay, I'm going to go to the phones. If you are in the queue and you'd like to ask a question, please press *1. Because you're not in the room, can you please state your name and who you work with? Go ahead.
Sergeant Addison, Mike Howell at Business in Vancouver.
Hi, Mike. I can hear you.
Okay, just to clarify a point, you said of the 11 victims, 9 are women and 2 are men. I just wanted to clarify, because the information that we received yesterday was that the victims ranged in age from 5 to 65, so the 5-year-old is male or female?
Mike, I can confirm 9 women, 2 men. Your question is the gender of the 5-year-old victim. We have that information. I'm sorry, I just don't have it in front of me. I want to make sure that I'm accurate with the information I provide. So I'm not able to confirm that right now. I will bring that for you tomorrow at our briefing. Jason, if you're able to find that information now, sorry, Mike, I'm just going to ask a colleague in the room to see if you can find that information while we're talking here. And if I can get it to you before the end of this briefing, I will.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have a follow-up, Mike?
Well, yes. I over the last, since the pandemic, really, since Mayor Sim was elected, there's been several incidents, as you're well aware of, in the city that are high profile, and it has kind of caused the mayor and the chief to hold news conferences to call for bail reform, to call for filling gaps in mental health resources. And any time there's an event like this, to use the words of the chief, the mayor kind of shakes people to the core. But to give some context to Vancouver, is it still a safe city?
Yes. Vancouver is a safe city.
Yeah.
Incidents like this are, Mike, sorry, let me continue. Incidents like this, Mike, are absolutely tragic. They're horrible. They cause people fear. They strike us to our core. You will not find we're a major city. You will not find a major city anywhere in the world that has been able to completely eliminate crime and violence. Vancouver is a safe city. Incidents like this are gutting. They're absolutely tragic. But they're not unique to this city. I can provide, sorry, Mike, we're talking over each other a bit here because you're not in the room. I can tell you that, sorry, Jason, can you open that up again? I'm going to be able to provide you the information about the 5-year-old victim, I believe. Just give me 1 second here. The gender of the 5-year-old is female. The oldest victim, age 65, is a man.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Anybody else in the queue? One more in the queue, go ahead. State your name and your agency, please.
Alana Kelly, Glacial Media.
Hi, Alana.
Hoping to confirm the 7 in critical, 3 in serious condition. Do you know how many are children?
I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. I can attempt to get that information for you. I will try to get that information for you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. One more question in the queue. Go ahead. State your name and your agency, please.
Yeah, hi, it's Christine Ahmed here from 1130 News
Hi,
Radio.
Shruti.
I just, I want to ask you, is there any indication that the suspect had, chosen this event in particular? If there was an intent here before to target, I understand there's no indication that there's a terrorist angle to this. But was the incident targeted? Did he plan to do this at all, and what you can share in that sense?
So for those of you in the room, the question is there any indication through the investigation that this was planned, targeted, or intentional? My answer to that is that's forming part of our investigation. Beyond that, I'm not prepared to disclose any additional information. Go ahead.
Just to follow up.
Sorry.
The suspect
Yep.
lives.
Go ahead,
Sorry,
Srishti.
just to
Go
follow
ahead.
up, does the suspect live in the neighborhood, in the general area of the attack?
The suspect in this case is a Vancouver resident. He's an East Vancouver resident. We executed a search warrant at his residence yesterday. I'm not prepared to give the specific location of the residence. However, he was an East Vancouver resident. Go ahead.
How has this event shaped the way that the BPD approaches future public events in terms of safety?
Yeah, and that's a question that we addressed in detail yesterday when Interim Chief Steve Rye was here standing at the podium speaking to it. The best answer that I'm going to give you, and I'll let his words speak for himself, but the best answer I'm going to give to you on that is that this has changed all of us. This has changed all of us. This will change the way we approach events and community events in the future. That doesn't mean there's going to be a police officer on every corner at every block party and community event, but we will take a hard look at this. We're confident that the decisions that were made leading up to this festival, the Lapu-Lapu Festival, were sound. That said, we're going to review all of the circumstances and we'll learn from it. And if changes are necessary or we need to adapt the way we do things, we'll do that, but we'll do that in consultation with the community and in response to the community's needs, because nobody wants to see a police officer in every corner. It's not realistic. But we'll continue to work with the community to meet the community's needs and make sure that this can be a safe community for people to have a block party, a cultural festival, a neighborhood concert. I think I'm going to end it there. Sorry, go ahead. One more from CBC. Go ahead.
One quick question. Were narcotics, was any form of substance abuse or substances influencing the driver?
The question is whether any belief that the driver was under the influence of substances at the time. I don't have that information, and if I did, it's not something that we would disclose. Okay. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow to provide additional information. Appreciate you coming out.